All right, good morning, everybody. Here it is a Sunday morning. It is February 22nd, and we are 5 days away from our big trip coming up here in Iowa. We're going to the Quad Cities. Hope to see everybody out there. We've got a great lineup of shooters coming down to meet up this weekend. And bonus news next weekend, that'll be March 6th and 7th. We will actually be meeting at Harrah's Casino here in Kansas City. So we're going to go back to back weeks. It's going to be very important that we work with money management and making lots of good choices. For instance, one thing that I've been working on, hence the title of this live stream, is that I have been working with Bone Tracker. And this is an app that is available, or not even an app. It's an Excel document that is available to folks who join the Discord. And I will be sure to grab that Discord and grab you an invite to join there. But it basically allows me to get a document here. As you can see, this is the actual bone tracker that I am using. And I did 400 shot test yesterday. Good morning, Brad. Thanks for coming in, sir. We're talking about dice sets and using Bone Tracker and what I did in order to find dice sets that work best for me. So I did a 400 throw test, basically throwing the same dice set 400 times yesterday, and I went with a 4242 dice set when I was testing this. And it gives you a lot of information and it can be a little overwhelming, but there is a tab that allows you to see your results and what your dice sets would result in had you decided to use that instead. And so, as you can see, there are a lot of things. And so, the important thing that you want to look at is if you look down on the, let me scroll it over, there we go, the 4223 in the P2 position, you'll see the number 80 highlighted in pink or red, and that shows right there that I threw 87s. I would have thrown 87s had I used the 4223 dice set. And so the whole reason I even wanted to show this was to show you that I put in the work to find the dice sets that we are going to use today. So we're not taking any suggestions. We're not trying anything different other than trying to get these points based off of the dice sets that Bone Tracker suggested and see if we can't get anything positive from it. So, Brad, welcome aboard. I appreciate you joining us here this morning. I know that you like to throw us a lot of dice sets and suggestions, and I am all about that. But today I wanted to kind of see what the results gave us and if they were going to be favorable to us in a longer term role, and to see if this is something that I possibly want to use when going to Iowa next weekend. Otherwise, we'll just stick with what we've been doing. It hasn't really failed us in a sense that it doesn't work, because as anybody knows in craps, anytime that you come out and you are playing at a table that's seven, it will come at any time. So it's more about maintaining your bankroll and trying to get as long of a roll as possible, hence the bone thrower. All right, let me grab a drink of my coffee here. Gone with Dunkin' Donuts and a mocha and peppermint creamer in my coffee today, and it is fantastic. All right, so I've got all of my die sets here. I'll hold it up to the camera so that you guys can see it where I am throwing from. These are the different die sets for the different numbers that I'm going to be chasing. And so I've got those all written down, and we will use those. Now, for the come out, I'm just going to throw probably a 6465 just to have a dice set to use every come out, regardless of what I'm doing at the point of play at that point in time. All right, 6-4-6-5. We've got our come out, and I've been really working on my grip and getting the dice to throw in an even throw. So our first throw, we're going to start off with a hard 4. Now, I'm not going to complain with a hard 4. I did forget to put my $50 down on my pass line, so please don't get upset with me. Now, we're just going to start with a simple little 220 on the inside. I need to get a feel for the table. Are the dice going to cooperate with me? Or is it going to allow me to go on some longer rolls? All of that information can be found out pretty quickly when standing at a table and getting started. So our point is a 2-2 hard 4. Now I'm going to go ahead and just put $100 back on my pass line odds. I want to double what my minimum is starting at the table. So we've got our point. Let's take a look at our bone tracker. Now this is going to be different for every person out there because every person throws just a slight variation different. And so the bone tracker says when I want to chase a 4, I need to go with a 4-5-2-4. That's the dice that it wants me to go with for a 4. So we're just going to follow it and see if it works for us. Here we go. Looking for a 4. First throw we get, that's a 6-2. Easy 8. As I let the dice slip out of my hands, we got lucky. We'll take it and we'll move forward. Now, obviously, when you're moving into a hand, got to remember that every table isn't the same and every throw isn't the same. Exactly, Brian. Exactly. So these first couple of hits, I'm going to look to maximize my pressing to get my money onto the table and to recoup the initial cost of my investment. So I'm just going to do the full press right there. We'll rack $10, and then what we will do is we will just keep pushing forward, hopefully getting out in about 2 to 3 hits with a simple regression. So we're staying with our 4, which is a 4-5-2-4. I'm really excited to see these results after doing this because I knew that my dice were just slightly off and I just did not know how to correct them. And this bone tracker is supposed to help with that. Okay, box cars, we'll take it. I don't have any money that I can recoup from it, so we'll just slide the dice down and we shall throw again. I would be very interested to hear folks out there as they're watching. How do you, what tools have you used or trackers or anything along those lines? There's a 3-4. Okay. What trackers, what apps, what items have you used to try to help your roll get better? So we had a 3SO that time. And as much as that hurts, yes, it sucks. But again, that was the very first throw of the table. So I'm not going to get upset by it by any means. I'm just going to refresh and start again. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to I failed to mention, we're starting off with a $1,500 bankroll just to kind of get a feel for it and see where we can go from there, if we can go anywhere from there. All right, let me grab a couple more red, and we're just going to go same setup, throw again. And we will go with $100 on the passing odds just to start. I figure with this coming in a little bit heavier, I can afford to go a couple medium-sized swings and then I have to regress back down if they don't capture or if they don't gain any kind of traction to get us to build up a bankroll. Sorry, little refresher on the coffee. All right, 6-4-6-5 is what I have determined is a set that I like to use when on the come out. So our first toss, we get a 4-1-5 truck and camper, horse and buggy, flying chicken. We'll mark our 5. Yeah, it's amazing how many different names each of these numbers kind of hold. I'm sure there's lots of them out there that I've never heard. All right, so the point is a 5, and here it is telling us, the bone tracker, to go with a 2-4-2-3. 2-4-2-3. All right, so let's give it a go. We're looking for a 5. Good throw. They kind of exploded, but it nailed the 5. 2, 3. First throw. Ah, not going to argue. All right, so that's going to pay us 150 on the back, 50 on the front, and this is going to pay us $70. And I'm just going to go ahead and just jump this all the way up to 120. Actually, there is $220. We're out of the hand. I'd rather do that. Go ahead and just collect all this, get us out of the hand, get our money off, and then we can continue to play. Okay. Easy peasy. Well, I mean, I like it when a plan comes through. Now let's see if we can't continue to build it up. So we're reset now. 220 on the inside, 50 on the pass sign, completely out of the hand. Let's go to a come out roll. Our come out roll set of choices is 6, 4, 6, 5. Hey, what is up? Thanks for joining us here this morning. We're playing Crapless Craps. That's a 6, 3, 9. Let's mark our 9. And just to kind of catch you up, we used Bone Tracker, did a 400 throw test yesterday using the same dice set. It then spat out some results to us that we are using today to see the validity of it to give it a good test. Okay, 9 is our points. Let me get my $100 back there for my pass line odds. We got 220 spread out on the inside, and our point is a 9. And it is telling me for a point of 9, I want to go with a 4, 5, 3, 5. Again, a lot of really strange dice sets. And yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't say dice setting is the end all be all cure to craps, the answer, the miracle, the whatever you want to call it. This is something that I have been working with to see if it works for me. If it doesn't work for me, I won't use it. But it doesn't hurt to test and see if things work or don't work. So today, with a Bone Tracker, they're saying a 9 is a 4, 5, 3, 5. So let's give it a go and see what we get. Here's our first toss, going for a 9. That's a 1, 2, 3. Doesn't hurt us. We'll take the 3 craps number with the button on. We don't lose any money. All right. So again, 4, 5, 3, 5. And again, please do not use these dice sets that I am recommending, because I'm not recommending. I actually put in the work to get this information. So these more than likely will not work for you as a shooter. You got to put in the work to find out the information. Here's my next toss. That is puppy balls, hard 10. It depends on the person. You can influence the dice to help prolong rolls if you're consistent. There is a lot of truth to that statement, Brad. And it's not to create an argument or anything along those lines. Yeah, see, you use a 1, 3, 1, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 3V. There's nothing wrong with that. And you can also do an upside down 3V. That seems to be a pretty popular, just a base set people are comfortable with. Get my dice, put it that way real quick, and just chuck them. And there's nothing wrong with that. All right, going back, 4, 5, 3, 5. We did hit that 10 on the last roll, which was nice. Here is our next toss at looking for a 9. And a lot of this is just conjecture, if you will. There's a 6, 2, easy 8. We'll mark the 8. We'll pay $70. I'm just going to take it up to the full 120, take the $10 and rack it. A lot of it is people believe it, people don't believe it. They want to try it, they want to stay away from it. There is no right or wrong answer. I think when it comes to dice setting and throwing dice, the most important thing above anything else, consistency. It's just, yeah, you are exactly right. Once it hits the alligator padding, it's up to God. You are absolutely correct. But in my opinion, and I will say my opinion, If I can influence the dice to project towards certain numbers or pips on the dice, if you will, and I can throw it controlled, I have a more higher likelihood of getting the numbers that I'm targeting. I'm targeting. I'm not saying I'm going to throw a hard six and bang, there's a hard six. No way. But I am targeting specific numbers. And in this case, it's a 9 with a 4, 5, 3, 4. 4, 5, 3, 4? No, 4, 5, 3, 5. I apologize. All right, here we go. Looking for a 9, 4, 5, 3, 5. That's a 5, 1, 6 mixer. Okay, that is going to pay us $70, and I'll just kick that up to 120 and rack the 10. All right, let's grab our dice. We are a 2 away from the smalls, which we did not play. Now, in all fairness, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. 4, 5, 3, 5. Here is our next toss. That's puppy paws again. All right, so I don't have anything on it. I am going to go ahead and just throw a quarter on it because that's the second hard 10 I've seen. I'm not going to go in heavy on it. I'm just going to throw a quarter on it and we'll move forward. Now, a lot of people will be like, well, why don't you just do what you normally do and throw some money on the field? And when the 10 hits, just put the money up there. It's because I'm only at the $50 level on the 5. And until I get that 5 rows up, I don't. I'm not as big of a fan of the Iron Cross type of um, spread out. 4, 5, 3, 5. Sorry, I was looking at my dice tracker. What I want to throw next. Here we go. Because these are all new to me. Hey, that was a good throw. That's a 1, 2, 3. Wow, did you see how those dice just hit the wall, just barely touched the alligator wall, and then died? That's what you want. That's a sign of a good throw. 4, 5, 3, 5. If you are looking to be a control thrower, I will say that because everybody throws a little bit different. Here's our next toss. 6, 4, 10. See, that's the third 10 we've hit. That's crazy. Okay, so let's grab our nickel, grab $4 change, and then that'll pay us 50. And I'm just going to put a quarter on the 10 to make it 50 and put a quarter on the 4 to make it a quarter. And that's what we'll do. Easy peasy. I'm going to grab a couple more red, slide this die out, and let's throw again. So one of the things about the bone thrower dice tracker type of thing is the thing I liked is that it doesn't have a minimum number. Now, obviously, the more throws you throw into it, it will give you a more pinpoint accurate type of response. And again, it all basically boils down to what you are comfortable with. If you are not comfortable with setting your dice and you just want to come up and throw them and have a good time, nothing wrong with that. 6-2 easy 8 is going to pay us 140. So far, this is giving us a decent result, even though the first couple throws were duds. Now with this, I'm just going to take it up a quarter, and I'm going to make it. Let's make it 120, and I'm going to stop right there, and I will rack. Let's see, that's 140 coming into the rack. Not bad, not bad at all. And I'm going to stop pressing my 8 until I start getting my other numbers up. If I hit the 8 again, I'll start spreading it out and while still collecting a little bit. 4, 5, 3, 5. Here's our next toss. Nice, good throw. Hard 4. We like it. We love it. We want some more of it. All right, so that's $50. I'll take a quarter, stick it in my rack, raise my 4 up to a quarter, up to 50. I'm sorry, up to 50. Let's continue throwing. I mean, if it's going to allow us to go longer rolls, there might be some validity to this setup. 4, 5, 3, 5. Next throw. Good throw. 314. Hey, look at that. Back-to-back fours. All right, so we'll drop them $2. That's going to pay us 100. Put that there. Rack the 50. Put the 2 on the vig, and I'm going to stop on the 4. Now I want to start bringing these other numbers up, but I'm not going to bring them up until they hit. And so my 4s and 8s now I will just be collecting. And the reason I'm doing that is because I did take a hit in the pants those first couple throws, and so I need to build my money back up. And if they want to passively just give me $100 as I'm just standing there drinking or sipping on my margarita or whatever I'm drinking, great. 549. Hey, there we go. All right, so that's going to pay us $150 on the back side, $50 on the front side, and that is going to pay us $70 here. I'll just kick my 9 up to 100. Mainly because I did recoup all of this, so I'm going to be a little more aggressive on pressing up that number. And now I can rack, what is that? $220 on top of my initial $100 that I had on my pass line odds. All right, slowly but surely building, and it looks like so far this is a positive move for us. Okay. Everybody know what time it is? We hit a point. Payments have been made. What do we do now? Absolutely, of course we do. We take a sip of our coffee. Oh, that tastes good. All right, here we go. Back on the come out. 6465 is what I'm going to use. Here's our next toss. Aces in both places. Yes, we lose the pass sign. Wish we had money on the ATS, but we just hit the smalls. All right, so we are a yo and a 12 away. You know, a lot of people say, you know, putting money on the ATS is a lot of wasted money, and I am not gonna lie, it is. But man, there is no greater feeling than hitting that ATS on a make 'em all. All right, here's our next toss. Looking to stead a point. That's a 2-4-6. We'll take it. Let's mark that 6. Now I'm going to retract this. I'm just going to move all these up. This just means that I hit the small already once, and I'm retracting the smalls again. See how many times we can hit these. Here we go. Slide our dice down. Our point is a 6. Now, my bone thrower says a 4-5-2-4 is what we want. So we'll give it to him. 4-5-2-4. Here's our next toss. That's a 1-2-3 again. Man, we're throwing a lot of Alfredo sauces there. What's my 5 at right now? Still at 50? You know what? I'm going to chance it. I'm going to put a quarter on the field. It's drastically going to reduce how much we can press if we hit it, but we'll take it. All right, so our point is a 6. 4-5-2-4. There it is, Cinco Dos, they kissed. But that was a good roll. So let's clear off this table and see where we are at as far as profit and loss. Okay, grab all that. Now we started off with 220 plus 50 on the pass line, 270. So there's 200. 3, 4, 5, 50. Whoops, I scatter all my nickels across the table. So we're at 550. That's $621. Not bad, not bad. I mean, it still falls within kind of the expected roll range. We did go a little bit further. We were able to get a point in there, hit several horns, especially that 3. That 3 was crazy. But we're not completely back just yet, but we are in a better position than we were just a little bit ago. So I'm going to reset up. I'm going to go up to the $75 level just on the inside. I'm not going to spread all the way across the table. by any means. I just want to go 5 through 9, $75 a piece. Of course, we'll make this 6 and 8, 90. And our goal is to ultimately wind up getting spread up all the way across. You know what? I think on that last roll, I was penalizing myself for the 3, and it shouldn't have been because we were playing crapless. But we're just going to, because of that, we'll just keep it on the craps table. I'm not going to press the 2, 3, 11, and 12. We'll just play craps. Now that I've got that in my head. Hey, Clint, welcome in this morning. Hey, we're using our results from our bone thrower that test that we did yesterday. I did a 400 roll test. Oh, yeah, I told you about it. And so we're taking those results, and I found the best dice sets based off of the way I throw, the best dice sets that I need to utilize in order to hit a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so we're using that information, and we're going to point chase as we set a point playing craps and see if it'll extend our roll. But good morning, Clint. Hopefully you have your cup of coffee. Appreciate you dropping by this morning. All right, we're on a come out roll. Let's grab our dice. All right, I see 2 3s. Oh, 2 6s. I'll take those. I'm going to go 6 4 6 5 for my my come out roll. I need to put 50 on the pass, so that's going to be there after I throw this. Aces in both places. Nice. So I will give them 50. Put 50 right there. Cover our aces. Couldn't even get the money out there, and I'd already lost it. That's crazy. That's craps for you, though. You're losing it faster than you can throw it out onto the table. Yeah, it's a problem. 6 4 6 5. Here's our next toss. That is a 5 3 8 ease. We'll mark that 8. Now that we know 8 is our point, let's go see what the bone thrower says is my best 8 set. My best 8 set is a 5 3 2 3, believe it or not. 5 3 2 3. So that's what we're going to use. Looking for an 8. It is marked. Good morning, Skill. 6 2 8, first throw. How about that shit? Oh, all right. That's going to pay us 120 on the back side, 50 on the front side. That is going to pay us 105 here. I'm just going to take this up to 150, and I'll rack the 40 off of it. And then I'll just take all this and rack it up. Easy peasy. Okay. So, I mean, the 8 works. Yeah, no, it's not crapless. The only reason I was going to go crapless, Skill, was because I also have those dice sets for a 2, 3, 11, and 12. But we're just going to keep it with craps because that's what we're playing when we go to Iowa next week. All right, so I started off with 330 plus 50 makes 380. I've got about $300, just a little over $300 currently in the rack. Let's do this. 2 throws, almost completely out. I like it. All right, back to the come out, 6 4 6 5. That's what I'm using for my come out throw. A 6 1 front line. So that just wipes that out. I'm not playing the ATS, no big deal. $50 for the pass line bet and right. Grab our dice. Let's throw again. And that shows me right there that I had a double pitch, so I need to fix my grip. And I did discover what was causing a lot of that. And it was basically how I was holding the dice, causing one die to spin faster than the other. 6 3 9. I like 9. All right, let's mark our point 9. Put $100 back behind our pass line odds. And again, yes, it looks like I'm going crazy, but really, as far as the level that I'm playing alongside, just putting 100 back on the pass line odds, you'll see some people that will max out their pass line odds every time. And those people who can either do really well or do really bad really quickly at the casino. All right, a 9. It's telling me it wants me to throw a 4-5-3-5. So there's my 4-5. There's my 3-5. Let's give her a toss. Looking for a 9. 5-6 yo. We'll take that yo. Slide her down, throw again. 4-5-3-5. Man, these are just some weird, funky dice sets, but I'm not going to complain if it works for me. All right, here we go. 9-9-9-9. Neener 9, please. 3-6-9. Why not? That's our point. I mean, I know not all of us believe in dice setting and those types of trackers and whatnot. FUBAR. Because it's working for me, so I can't complain. Something to ponder. You might want to make 2 black squares that cover both the 2, 3, and 11, 12 when you play regular clubs. Yeah, you know what? Still, I have actually been thinking about that, and actually I have something kind of on the back burner that I am currently working on. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to basically spoil it if I can get it to come to fruition. But as of right now, yes, it is something that I have thought about doing and probably need to look into doing so that I don't confuse myself when I throw. All right, so the 9, we got it right back. We are now officially completely out of the hand, so I'm going to leave these 2 raises that I have on here right there because as you can see, I've got $300, $400, $500, $600 right there. So we are very, very clearly out of the hand. I'll leave those alone. I'm going to, on the next, after we've established the point, I'll utilize the field bet, try to get those 4s and 10s covered up, and see if we can't make some progress that way. All right, 6-4, 6-5 is my come out set that I want to use. If we've got a better come out set, I'm completely all ears. This is just one that I use because it also allows me to get my 2s and 12s off of it. So that's use it on the come out. That's a 3-1-4. Let's mark our 4. All right. I won't need to worry about pushing into the 4, especially if I hit it, because I'll just use the funds that I collect from this to put onto my 4. Yay. So the only thing I have now that is not covered is a 10. So I'm going to throw a quarter on my field. And let's go to work. We've got a point of 4, and they're saying to use a 4-5-2-4. There we go. I tell you what, I probably would have never in a million years chosen to do some of these die sets. 1, 2, 3. But here we are. Okay, slide it down. We get paid a quarter on our field. So I'm just going to use that, cover my 10. I'm not going to worry about the 4 just yet because I've got this money back here to cover in or to move it into my 4 when it finally hits. All right, going back to my 4-5-2-4. Here's our next toss. 5-3-8 ease will pay us $175 minus the quarter for that, so that gives us $150. I'm just going to take it up to $210. That'll pay us $240 on our next hit. Rack 100. Easy peasy. Very simple, very clean. Still making a decent amount of pressure while still collecting a decent amount as well. Our point is a 4-4-5-2-4. Here is our next toss. Aces. Okay. I mean, we were not expecting it, but we'll take it. That pays us $50 down there. So I'm going to take the 50, stick it on the 10. So now I've got my 10 up to where I started the rest of the table at, the $75 level. Now I'll start applying it to the 4. Hey, Badlands, yep, 250 for the 10 and 2 collects and go to 450. Yeah. All right. Still looking for that 4. Bone Tracker says 4524. Let's get a 4. 6 4 10. That's the other side. We'll take it. All right. Let's drop them some money. We'll get $2 back on our big. We've got $75 there. That's going to pay us a cool 150. I'm going to push it up to 100, put that $75 over onto the 4, and then take the $50, stick it in the rack. Now, it was a 10, so I'm also going to get a quarter for that. There we are, all paid out. And we've got $100 now sitting on our 10 with 75 on the 4. I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to leave that field there. I was thinking about pulling it down, but I still got the 2, 3, 11, and 12 that can do some payments. So we'll leave it there. It's not going to hurt us too much. 4 5 2 4. Here's our next toss. Looking for a 4. 6 2 8 easy. That's going to pay us $240. Now I'm just going to take it up to 300, and I'll still rack. What is that? 150? Yeah, 150. I do need to kick a quarterback for the field, so I'm racking $125. Easy peasy. I mean, it seems like, oh my God, that's a lot to press, but at the same time, I still racked $100, and I'm completely out of the hand. All the money sitting on the table belongs to the casino. I'm gambling with their money. I like it. 4 5 2 4. Looking for that 4. Good morning, Badlands. Hopefully you've got your cup of coffee going with you this morning. That gives us a 3 6 9. That's going to pay us $140. Push it up to 2, rack the 40. And I get a quarter for the field. So I'm actually racking $90. And look at that. I'm going to sell my first stack of green chips back to the table. That's $500. Doing good. Let's keep pressing. I know a lot of people don't really believe in dice setting. I don't have a problem with that. I just hope that you guys realize that I'm not just trying to provide content that's fluff by any means. And I'm also not saying that I am a 100% firm believer that dice setting is the way to go and all other players suck, because I've seen some really fantastic random rollers out there that don't necessarily throw with a dice set or whatnot. But this is just something that I feel works for me, so I'm going to use it. 200. 9 was our point. It's going to pay us $280. I'm just going to raise it 300 up to 300, and I'll still rack the 180. Just simple little presses. Now I'm also going to collect a quarter for that. So that is actually 205 that I banked. And our 9 is up to 300. We hit that again. That's going to pay us, quick math, 420. All right, here we go. 4 5 2 4. Right? On the 4 4 5 2 4. Yep. Here we go. Looking for a 4. 6 2 8 easy. We'll take it. That's going to pay us $350. I'm going to lose a quarter. And so I'll just take this up to, let's make it 450. Oh, I need more quarters. There we go. All right, and so I'm going to jump it up to 450. I'm going to rack 175. I already pulled the quarter out for that. Good to go. Come on, guy. Thumbs up. 7 people watching, only 2 thumbs up. Hit that tab. Appreciate you, Badlands. Yeah, boy, 450. That's going to pay us 5 1/4 on our next hit. And the way the 8's been hitting, I'd be kind of foolish not to push it up. 4 5 2 4. And let me rephrase that. I should not be afraid to push up the casino's money with the casino's money to put money into my rack. Looking for a 4. 6, 4, 10. Let's go. Drop them $5. Now it's going to pay us 200. Again, small presses, still wanting to add money to my rack. So there's 100 on the 10. Still put 100 into the rack, and I get a quarter for that. And this is the VIG. I'll tell you what, just doing a simple little 400 throw test and putting in the little bit of work to see what Bone Thrower says so far has proven fruitful for us. The real test will be next weekend, right, Clint? Badlands? 1-5. Mixer. Bing, bing, bing. That's going to pay us 105. I'm just going to jump it up to 150, and I'll rack the 45. Oh, I need to actually 20 because I need to pay for that field. Because it was a 6. No big deal. Moving forward. Yeah, I'll be practicing with these dice sets all week leading up to Iowa. And so hopefully I see the consistency that I would like to utilize. And I'll probably give it a try Friday evening before we actually all get together and start playing on Saturday. Box cars, how about that? And I still got a quarter on the field, so that's going to pay me $50. I'll just take it. And you know what? I'm going to put a quarter on the hard 10. Yeah. If it was 90 on there, you should have dropped 15 and went to 210. On what, the 9? I'm catching you, or I'm a little behind, or a little ahead of you, Badlands. Help me out. Oh, if it was 90 on there, you should have dropped 15 and went to 210 because 90 pays 105. 105 plus 90s, 195. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Well, in Badlands, I do like that type of aggression, but the pressing style that I am currently using is to help me build this up so that I can do presses like that and still have enough money in the rack and not be affected by it. Love the move. It's like putting 35 on a 4 or a 10. First hit, you jump it up to $100 and the VIG is paid for out of the payment. So yeah, I like those little tricks. 4, 5, 2, 4. We are looking for a 4. Our next toss. 3, 1, 4. Let's go, boy. Pay that money. 200 on the back, 50 on the front. I need to drop them $3 for a VIG. I'll get $2 back. And that's going to pay me a cool, whoa, chips everywhere. It's going to pay me a cool 150. So I'm just going to take my 4 and I'm just going to push it up to 100 and I'll rack everything else. There's my change on my VIG. Plus I get a quarter for that. Man, we just got money coming from everywhere on that roll. I like it. All right. Ooh, nice hit. We will take it. All right, let's pull the field off for the come out. I'm going to go ahead and just throw it out there. I think we have a bleed in the brakes because the brakes are off. We're going downhill full speed. Let's go. Here we go. We're looking at a 6-4-6-5 on our come out. I got distracted by the kids, so I missed a lot. How many 7s have you thrown so far? 1. Since you left. 1. Here we go. Dice are out. Looking for a new point. 4-1-5 truck and camper. That's the smalls again. That's twice we've hit the smalls utilizing this bone thrower. Damn, that's sweet. Okay, I'll go ahead and remove the smalls. We'll still calculate it. This means that I've hit it once. We're real close to the totals as well. Let's mark our 5, get $100. You know what? No. I got $50 there. It's 3, 4, 5 times the odds. 4 means I can put 200. Putting 200 behind. Just wondering how your bone tracker is working. It's working really well. I mean, my first couple throws, I'm going to call those hiccups because it's the first 2 throws at the table. It's going to be like that, regardless if it's a table that you own versus walking into a casino and touching a table you've never touched before or one that you are commonly comfortable with. It's those first couple throws that are hiccups. All right, we've got a point up 5. My bone tracker says 2423, please. All right, we'll give it to him. We've done this before, and we smacked it first throw. 2423. Here's our throw. There it is. Brad, you suck. He got us all excited. Of course, we did just hit the smalls. And we're out of the hand. That's okay. I joke, Brad. I give you a hard time because you came out and started asking the 7 question. But regardless, still a really good throw. Now let's remember, we started off with 330 plus 50 on the pass. We'll call it $380. That right there shows we're already out of the hand. That's 500. This is just from this roll specifically. I assume you're not going to have that in Iowa. Why not? I got the dice sets written down. I'm just going to follow the dice sets. I'm not going to input information. I will keep track of my information in a notepad, and I can then calculate it into or throw it into the bone tracker that night and get some decent results. That's always possible. Or I can just utilize the sets that I have already discovered using my table at home and try to transition those numbers into that table there in Iowa. Yeah. So if I write down my information as I'm throwing, I'll write down what dice that I'm throwing, what my results were, and then I can throw that into the bone tracker after the fact that night at the hotel room. I'll go up to my room in the casino, put in my information, and based off of that information, it can give me what my dice sets should be targeted towards for specific numbers on that specific table. And here's the kicker. If they don't change that table, or if you visit that casino a lot and the table doesn't change, those results are still valid for you at that casino. So with that said, when I start hitting my local casinos, I'm going to do just this. That's what I'm going to do on March 6th and 7th. I'm going to track all my information, throw it into the bone tracker, mark which table it belongs to, and use that data. But, all right, let's get a total. So this is just from the last roll. So there's 500, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. That's 1,400. All right, let's move into our quarters. There's another 500, or 100, so that's 500. 275. There's 300. 50, 75, 85, 86, 87. All right, so here is our total. We've got 5, 10, 15, 18, 75, 1885, 1887 on that throw alone. And we started off with $380. Not too bad. You can't have a bone tracker in the casino. No, you cannot. But there is nothing saying I can't take my computer, put it in my casino hotel room, go downstairs, throw, have a pad and paper, mark down my results based off of the dice sets that I'm throwing, take that information, then go up to my hotel room that night, push in the information into my computer, spit out the information, write down what my dice set should be. Next morning, go down, throw on that table. Voila. That they can't stop you from doing, Brad. All right. What a really good throw. So it looks like after, what is that, 3 or 4 throws that we've done now, there is some good information that was presented to us utilizing the bone tracker. And I think this is something that we can definitely utilize in Iowa. But you can have somebody there that's tracking it on their phone. They can't tell you that you could stand on the side and track the numbers as he's throwing. That is very true, Badlands. So Bob is wanting to not only snipe point numbers, he wants to snipe individual tables too. Why the hell not? Hey, if the tools are there for somebody to use in an environment that is meant to make you lose, why don't you use them? And it's not illegal. It's not against the rules. There's nothing saying I can't track my information as I am playing. If the casino wants to take advantage of you, only thing I can say to that is fuck that. I'm going to try to take advantage of them. And in this particular situation, if I can use a bone tracker or a tool similar to it to not necessarily give me an advantage, but a tool to point me in the direction that I would like to go to try to maximize my personal throws, I'm going to do it. That's all there is to it. All right. So we're looking really good. We're looking pretty flush on our bankroll. So I'm going to push it some. He goes around to every craft channel saying the same thing about dice setting. What are you talking about, Brad? I'm a little confused because it seems to be conversation seems to be jumping around just a little bit. But no, let's go ahead and set up for our next throw. I'm going to go with 100 on each spot. And really, if you look at it before, I was going 330 on the last throw. This is just going to about double it. Actually, a little more than double it. Because I'm going to put 150 on the 6 and 8, just to give me that 175. Brad, I don't know what you're going on about. Offered to meet up with him to prove him wrong, and he got quiet about it. Let's not have the drama. But regardless, let's get set up for our next throw. I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go 75 on the pass line because I'm gonna go quarter on the ATS. And the reason I'm gonna do that is now that I've gone 4 throws, right? I had 4 rolls, and I've hit the smalls twice. So if I could possibly hit one of those sides, that'll give me $750 off the rip. All right, let's do this. We've got our dice set up. We've got 775. Actually, that's 700 plus 150, $850 up on the table. We're going 6-4, 6-5 on our come out. If somebody, now I did say earlier, and I let me back up just a tiny bit. If somebody has a better dice set for me to use on my come out roll, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm just using this because I like the dice set. There is no other reason than that's why I'm using this dice set, because it can help me target aces and box cars as well. All right, here is our next throw. We're on a come out. Let's see what we can do. 5-6 yo to start. That's going to pay us $75 on our pass line. We'll just take it and rack. Take our dice, slide them down. Let's go again. We're going with a 6-4, 6-5. Here's our next toss. There we go. 5-4 meaner. Mark the 9. We're going to put $200 back behind on our pass line odds. Again, doubling the smallest amount that we have here on our box numbers. 9 is our number. So let's take a look at our dice sets that we want for a 9. It says we want a 4, 5, 3, 5. It's going to take me a little bit of time to memorize those. That's why I'm going to have them with me. I'll probably make something kind of small and discreet that I can read as I'm playing. All right, here we go. Looking for a 9. Would not mind it right back. Hey, nice bounce. That's a yo again. I don't have anything on it. I'm going to put a quarter on the field, though. Well, I can't have anything on it because we're playing craps, not crapless. Here we go. Oh, my live was 12 minutes behind you guys. Hopefully you got caught up. Looking for the 9, 4, 5, 3, 5. Here we go. Puppy paws. Give me that hard 10, please. All right, so let's drop them a nickel. That's going to pay us $200 here. I'm going to put $100. Actually, I'm just going to put all of it on the 10, mainly because I'm going to make strong pushes those first couple hits so that I can work my money off the table. The 5 goes here. Quarter for the field, and I'll just rack the quarter. We'll leave it right there. Pretty puppy paws. If I could throw those all day, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Man, that'd be some good money, wouldn't it? Hit a hard 10 6 times in a row? Heck yeah. All right, Bone Tracker says my 9 is a 4, 5, 3, 4. Here is our next throw. Looking for that 9. 3, 4. Okay. I mean, I'm not upset because I was the one throwing and that was just the result of that throw. You're going to have those. There's no reason to get upset. Yes, I lost a lot of money on that, but if I wasn't willing to lose that much money, I should have never put it on the table in the first place, right? Exactly. Okay. Let's I'm going to grab $500 in green. Give me a stack of green. Fix my mess that I made earlier, throwing my chips around when I was trying to get more. There we go. All right, so I've got my stack of green, put these black chips back over here. Let's now, I'm going to go with that $75 level again on the inside. And I'm going to go 50 on the pass line. Actually, no, I'll go 75. We're just going to make it 75s across. Might as well. We're here to have fun. 3 and 3. And cover my 6 and 8. 90. Perfect. There we go. 330. Yep. Badlands and I are on the same page. Now, when I go to do the pass line odds, instead of going 150, I'll probably just do 200 back here on the pass line odds, even though it's 75. I try to double it, but if I go a little bit over, whatever. Cool. Okay, I'm going to put it out there to you guys, and I'll give you guys a minute to come up with something good. I need a good dice set for a come out roll. My options that I've been using in the past are 2, 1, 3, 1, 6, 4, 6, 5, 4, 5, 5, 1, 2 hits and back to 110, then play hop. Yep, absolutely. I like it, Badlands. I will do that. So I am looking for a dice set for a come out roll. Looking for your suggestions. Hit me up. Fill up that comment board. 3632. 3632. I see one. What is my goal for a come out? Just a non-7, basically. Just to get some, maybe a horn number, or not necessarily a horn number because I want to hit a point. So just any non-7 that'll allow me to hit a point. 4 through 10. And it doesn't have to be anything conventional. It could be or it could be a completely 100% reliable die set for you that you know when you throw it, it's hitting an inside number. This is one that I'll play with. And 3632 was the first comment by Badlands. Cross-reference that with Bone Tracker, best non-red, and most horn numbers. Yeah, I don't want horns. Not unless we're playing craps or crapless. 3532. All right, I'm gonna write both of those down. I'm seeing a 3632 and a 3532. So I'm gonna try both of those on this roll. 3532 and a 3632. All right. So Clint did the 3532, and who was it? Okay. All right. I like horns because of the ATS. Yes. No, I don't disagree with that, Brett. But I'll say those little horny throws. Pardon the pun. I'll throw the horny throws after I've established a point. So if you want the 4 or 10 as the point, then I use a 3515, and you normally like that. Yes, I do. You know what? I'm not opposed to that skill. I like using that 3515 as I come out because now using the bone tracker, it says for a 10, I want to use a 5345, and a 4, I want to use a 4524, which is pretty close to the same thing. It's just the dice are slightly rotated for whatever reason. It seems to make a difference. But I'm going to go with, let's start with Badlands, who suggested a 3632, and then we'll rotate through them and see if there is one that we like better. Now, the 3632 is basically just an upside down V, 3V. Here's our first toss using it. That gives us a 4610. Cool. We'll take it. Let's mark our 10. Resetting our ATS. 10 is marked. Let's put 200 back on our pass line odds. Yeah, baby, let's go. All right, if we get a sniper point, I'm going to snipe it. 5345 is what the bone tracker recommends for my personal dice set to hit a 10. Clint, I think it depends on the person and the way they throw. Agreed. But he did bring up a valid point. I should be referring to bone tracker as to what I should use for my come out throw. You're going to hit mad 10s with that shit, bro. Everyone is different, guys. No, absolutely. Absolutely. But that, on a come out throw, that's the time, in my opinion, to really experiment with a dice set that you've been wanting to use, especially like at a casino. Okay, so if you're at home and you're practicing, yes, you can practice whatever dice set 1,000 times in a row. But when you're at the casino, you have to pay for those opportunities to throw the dice. And so when you're doing a come out roll, if there's a dice set that you're wanting to try, that's the time to do it. All right, here we go. Our point is a 10. We want a 10, please. Oh my gosh, puppy paws right off the bat. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's get paid. 400 on the back side, 75 on the front side. Oh, freaking beautiful. I'm a chucker on the come out rolls. I just pick them up and chuck them. Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. I got no issues with that. All right. That was a hell of a hit. So we had 330 on the inside plus another 150. That's $480 that we're in for. And there is 675. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rack 475. Yes, I know that keeps me in the hand for a nickel, but I'm going to put 100 on the 4 and 10 and stop. Just right there. How do you feel about that, guys? I mean, I'm still ranking $475. So I'm not upset, and I'm into the hand for 480. I think for a one roll wonder, that's a nice push, and consider myself out of the hand. Oh, wow. That was a great hit. Okay, now, yeah, we're going to go with Clint. He said a 3-5-3-2. So this is our second come out throw. 3-5-3-2. Here's our next throw. This is using Clint's come out throw for dice set for a come out throw. 6-4-10. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody smell what I'm stepping in? Yeah. I mean, if we're just gonna throw tens all day, you ain't gonna hear me bitch about it. All right, here we go. 5-3-4-5 is what Bone Tracker is telling me to use to target my tens. Here we go. 6-4-10. Let's go, baby. Oh, there's another $400 on the back side, $75 on the front side. Drop them a nickel. Give me another $200. Please and thank you. Oh, I don't care what anybody else is doing with the dice. If I'm throwing like this next weekend, we'll all do good. All right, let's rack it up. Man, I got a shit-eating grin on my face. I ain't gonna lie. All right, I'm just gonna take the 75, throw it in there. 2, 4, 6. That gives me $800 that I can play with. I'm gonna increase my 10 all the way up to 300, and I'll rack 600. I think that's a fair exchange. That's one of the, and I am free to admit this. I have no problems admitting it. I get excited when I play craps. A lot of us do. And so the betting aspect, this is the one reason that I've been using the chips a lot, especially on the table while I'm playing here with you guys, is because A, it slows me down. B, it helps me reevaluate where I am on the table. And it's not just a bunch of clicks in Crapsy or Bubble Craps, and you're just go, 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 go. So this helps me slow down and reevaluate where I am. Okay. Next come out throw. We're going to go with skills this time. 3-5-1-5. See what we get. There's our first 7. We only lose one number. It's a wash for us. We had 75 on the pass, 75 on our ATS. We'll just wash it. Okay. Let's rotate through again. We'll go back to to Badlands. 3-6-3-2. Upside down, 3V. 6-4-10. Shut the front door, people. That's 3 10s in a row. Okay. Now let's we got 75 on the pass. I'm gonna jump it up to 300. Just increase it by 100. Let's take our dice. Here we go. Can we make it 4 in a row? Can we make 4 10s in a row? 5-3-4-5. We did have a 7 mixed in there. Almost forgot about that. Okay. It was fun to think about. Here's our next toss. Six one. I was holding my breath on that throw. I'm not gonna lie. That was some crazy, crazy stuff. All right, not upset. Let's see what we have in the rack. There's $500, $650. Yeah, yeah. What I say we started off with 750. Yeah, or no, it was 850. Yeah, we lost a little bit. I'm not gonna be upset by that. That was fun. That was fun. All right, let's clean up just a little bit and let's set up for our next throw. All right, I'm gonna pull back a little bit now. Let's see what we can do from a really basic setup. I'm gonna go 110 on the inside with a quarter on the pass. Let me grab some red. Yep, there we are. That's what we look like. Let's see if we can't now utilize the bone tracker from a really minimalistic setup, like 110 on the inside, and build it up. 3, 4, 5, 6 with a 1. Let's throw again. I see the 2 2s first. Let's grab those. All right, we're going with Clint's 3, 5, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3, 2. Here we go. 5, 2 front line. We'll take that quarter. I'll just put it on the pass line. Easy peasy. Need to squeeze my dice just a little bit tighter. Not much, just enough to keep it from going out of whack. 3, 5, 3, 2. Here's our next toss. Come out, roll. Come on. Get it. 4, 3, 1. We'll take it. There's our 3, 1, 4. I'm going to put $50 back on the pass line odds and leave it right there. Yeah? Yeah. Now, here's my rule. If that 10 hits twice while I'm throwing, I will then put a quarter on it. But it has to hit twice. All right, so 10 is our point, or excuse me, no, 4 is our point. 4, 5, 2, 4 is what it wants us to throw. Using Bone Tracker for the data on our dice sets. Here's our next toss. 4, 1, 5, horse and buggy. 35. I'm just going to jump it up to 60. That'll pay us 84 on the next hit, and that is a proper bet as well, which is good. All right, 4, 5, 2, 4. Looking for a 4. Next toss. 2, 4, lumber number 6. We'll take it. That will pay us 35. I'm just going to take it up to 60 and rack the nickel. Easy peasy. I mean, very simple, nothing extravagant, making big pushes, trying to get ourselves off the table as fast as possible. 4, 5, 2, 4, looking for a 4. 2, 1, 3. Don't lose or win anything with that, but we do get it marked on the tracker. Man, we are already a 2 away from the smalls. That's crazy. Drop 5 hop. $5 on what? What do you want me to hop, Badlands? I'll sit here and wait. What do you want me to hop? I've got $5 right here. What do you want me to hop? I think he's a little behind me, but that's okay. I'm not going to throw until he tells me what he wants me to hop. Okay, our point is a 4, 4, 5, 2, 4. Just waiting to see what I should hop from Badlands. Come on, Badlands. What am I hopping, baby? Drop, 5, hop. You got to tell me what you want me to put it on. No? Okay. Back in the right. Looking for a 4. Here we go. 4, 5, 2, 4 gives me a 5, 1, 6. There we go. Mixer pays us 70. I'm going to take it up to 120. Fix my 5 here. That's 1, 2, 3 hits. Looks like we're going to need one more. Yeah, one more. That's why repeaters are so valuable, especially when you're first getting into a hand. 4, 5, 2, 4. Here's our next toss. Come on, 4. 5, 6, yo. We'll take it. That's our first tall number. That means one of my diets were off, but that's okay. We'll just regroup and throw again. 4, 5, 2, 4. Looking for a 4. Two, 3, 5. That's going to pay us $84. 75, 80, and 4. Now I'll drop this down to a quarter. There's 115, and I'll drop this down to 30. And then I'll put a quarter on the 4 and 10, and we're out. That's going to give me 125, 155, $159 coming off. We had 110 plus 50, 160. We are out of the hand. Even if we say count the $50 on the pass line odds, that is still 210, and we've got over 160 here. So yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. We're doing good. I'm going to go ahead and call myself out of the hand, though, because I've got all these bets here covered, including my pass line. The pass line odds is not covered, but we're okay with that. And I've got full cover table coverage. We did extend out there. If I pulled those off, we'd be out of the hand. All right, 4, 5, 2, 4. We are looking for a 4 for the point. Work these if hit in the inside, drop 5 and hop the inside. Wait. Work these if hit inside, drop 5 and hop the inside. So how much and what numbers are you wanting me? Because I need a little bit more clarification, Badlands. If I hit the inside, so are you talking the 5 through 9? Or are you just talking the 6, 8? If it's the 5 through 9 and it hits, I'm going to drop $5 and hop the 6, 8, the 5, 6, 8, 9. That's the type of information I'm looking for. Well, don't just give me a yes because I'm ahead of you. I'm just looking, I need specifics. Bet 5 on the easy 6s, easy 8s, easy 5s, easy 9s, like that. That way I can target it. Hop the inside, 5, 6, 8, 9. Okay. He wants me to hop the 5, 6, 8, 9. All right, so that would be the 3, 2, 4, 1. That would be the 6, 3, 5, 4. That would be the 6, 2, 5, 3, and the 4, 2, 5, 1. Is that what you're wanting me to do? 10, 20, 30, 40. Yeah, $40. Oh, now I'm understanding what's going on here, Badlands. I'm tracking. All right, 4, 5, 2, 4. Looking for the 4 or any of those inside easies. 6, 2. There we go. All right, we'll take it. 6, 2 is right there. Okay, that pays us 15 to 1, which is $75. And let's see here, that was an 8, so that's going to pay me $35. So I will just push that up to 60, right? And then let me, whoops, missing. It's a $40 bet. I've got 5. So let me just do this. Let's pull that, give myself $10 and change, and then rebet that. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. No, and I know I'm out of the hand. I'm gonna keep that there, just because that was kind of fun. I did get a push on my 8. Let's continue on. I need to start doing that a little more. Badlands, I think you and I need to sit down and talk about betting strategies at some point. I would love to pick your brain a little bit. All right, 4, 5, 2, 4. We know what we're looking for. Here we go. 6, 5, yo. Ah, that hurts. All right, I'm done hopping for a little bit. I guess that doesn't really hurt because if I'm using the casino's profit to make that hop bet, I really didn't lose anything. I like that move. I'm sitting here just kind of digressing that type of a move, and I like it. I like it. All right, here we go. Looking for a 4, 4, 5, 2, 4. Have you ever heard of hopping inside easies at any amount? Side quest. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Clint. 4, 5 meter. That's gonna pay us 35, right? I'm gonna go ahead and take it all the way up to 60. That works. I'd show you another crazy hop thing, but you guys will freak out at me if I try to do it right now because you know what? Screw it. We're having fun. Let's do it. I'm gonna put 300 on the field. I'm gonna hop the easy 8 and the easy 6 for quarters each. Yep, that's what we're doing. Do the math. Do the math. There are 2 bad numbers, and on top of that, I'm gonna throw a quarter on the hard 6 and hard 8. There we go. Because those will stay. That's the thing I like about those. All right, here we go. We're chasing a 4, 4, 5, 2, 4. We're getting crazy. Let's have some fun. Two, 1, 3. Okay. Yep, you got it, Badlands. I like that move. All right, so 1, 2, 3. That's going to pay us $300 here, right? I lose $100 here. So there's the 100. Now I put those back. 5, 1, 4, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2. And I put 100 into my rack. Right? Yeah, because yep. So there's 200 in my rack. There's 100 here. There's 300 here still. Yeah? Oh, I read the question but didn't answer you. Hold on, Scale. Let me reread that question then. You had asked, have you ever heard of popping the inside easies at any amount? Well, yeah. I guess I don't understand what you're asking, Skill, but that's kind of what I'm doing right here with this setup. Oh, yeah, I need the dice. All right, let's cover our 3. Oh, yeah, we already have it covered. We're still just a 2 away, aces away. So re-ask your question, Skill, because I wasn't able to necessarily follow along with what you were asking. 4, 5, 2, 4 is our next throw. Still looking for that 4. Here's our toss. 2, 4, 6. Okay, so we're gonna lose the $300 here, right? And a lot of people are like, well, I had a 4, 2, 6. This pays 15 to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. I need 2 more. 15. That pays me $375. There's the 300. Just get the 3 black chips, and it's a wall. I make 100 or 75. 75 right there. Or yeah. No, the 75 was for that. Never mind. That goes here. Okay. So I'm right back to where I was. 300, 100. We're good to go. It's a good tool to use if you understand hopping. I understand hopping, but I don't utilize it enough, which I probably should, mainly because, especially when I'm rolling, since I know what I'm targeting, I'm more apt to do a hop bet. Whereas if somebody else is rolling, I might do some hop bets on like the hard ways on a come out roll. But other than that, I won't even mess with the hops on somebody else. 4, 5, 2, 4, 8, with the exception of one person, and that is actually Bags, Steve Bags. I will hop the shit out of 4s and 10s with him. Hopping is really to just get you into the game and to get ahead really fast. Then you go to a strategy that you normally will play. That way you can stay in some kind of control. Yeah, no, I agree. And I know that is an aspect of my game that I need to work on. 314, baby. There's our point. All right. So we're going to lose our hops. That's going to pay us $300 here. I just netted $200. Right here, that's going to pay us $150 on the front side, and I need to drop $1 for the vig, and I get paid $50 there. So this, I'm just going to pull off, put it in my rack. Made a little bit of money doing that. Let's pull all that off. And on top of that, I'm just going to leave the 3/4 there, make my 475 puck off. I made money. I am okay with that aggressive of a push on that 4. I don't think it's a bad push, especially with as much as I just took off the table. So we'll just leave it there. All right, back on the come out. Let's see, where did we leave off? Oh yeah, it was skill with the 3-5-1-5. That was our next opportunity. 6-3-9. Cover that 9. Mark the 9. Now I will put $100 back on the pass line odds. There's my 9. What is my dice set for a 9? It is a 4-5-3-5. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to take my hard ways of a hard 6 and a hard 8, and I'm going to move them over to a hard 4, hard 10. Why did I do that? Because I know what my dice set is. It's a 4-5-3-5. That gives me a hard 10 and hard 4 possibilities in that dice set. So that's why I put a hard 4, hard 10. All right, here we go. 4-5-3-5. Looking for a 9. Just stay in the advanced 3V upside down 3V. You're going to destroy the inside. Yeah. Well, no, I'm doing this because I'm using the bone tracker today. That's what this whole live stream is about. Following the bone tracker when I'm throwing to chase points to see how well it works for me. This is my first full-on test with these dice sets. 3, 6, neater. How about that? 150 and 50 on the front. That pays me 84 on the place bet. I'm just going to make it 100. Make it 100 and move on. Rack the rest of it. Wow. Wow. I mean, guys, if you're not using a bone tracker or something to track your rolls and to possibly benefit for some type of dice setting, if you believe in that, I mean, the proof is in the pudding today alone. And maybe it's just I'm having a good day at throwing. Maybe it is that the craps gods are like, yeah, Bob, you're going to have a great stream today. Sprinkle, sprinkle, fairy dust, sprinkle, sprinkle, all the sevens away. I don't know. I, I'm pretty excited with the results that we've seen here so far. All right, we are on our next come out. We are going to move to Badlands come out, 3632. 3632. Here we go. Upside down 3V. 538. We needed that 8 for the talls. We'll mark our 8. Now our 8, the dice set that they're recommending to chase an 8 for me is a 5-3-2-3. So I'm going to shift these back over to the hard 6, hard 8. And let's throw. All right, so 5-3-2-3 is our dice set. Looking for an 8. 639. That's a neener. That's going to pay us 140. I'm just going to take it up to 200. Yeah, let's just make it 200. We are way, way out of the hand. I can afford to be a little aggressive. I'll rack the 40. I think now that I've gotten to a point where I have a decent amount of black chips based off of where we started, I'm going to start applying some pressure. All right. The 8 is a 5-3-2-3. There we go. There it is, 3-4. Yeah, I agree. It is a crazy set. But I mean, if I put in enough rolls to give me some solid results, which I did yesterday, and we're seeing results from today's throws alone and how it's working for me, there has to be some validity to doing what I'm doing. It has to be valid because the proof is in the pudding. All right. So we started off, what did we start off with on that hand? Did we go 330? Yeah, we went 330 with a $50 pass line. 500, there's 1,000. 11, 12, 50. 1305, 1312. 1312. We started off with 380. Guys, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I'm sitting here, it's scratching my head. It's crazy at how that all just basically came together for me. Mine was a come out 7 and you moved on. Well, I mean, come on. If I get a come out 7, I don't want to come out 7, so I'm going to move on. All right, here we go. You know what? Let me see what time it is. It's 10:34. I started at 9. Let's have some fun on this last hand. Now, I wouldn't do this at the casino, so please don't think, well, Bob, there's your problem. That's why you're not making any money at the casino. No, I'm doing this just to have some fun, just to finish off the stream. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 16, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 75, 5, 6. Okay, so there is 5, 10, 5, 20, 5, $2,600. Okay, now that I know what to work with, put that right there, put you right there. 26, so 5, 10, 5, 21, 26. Okay, here we go. No, Bob, do real life cash out and make them chase their money back. Yeah, I know, but I want to have some fun. I mean, I like making big presses. All right, so there is 5 numbers at $500 a piece. Let's go. There we go. And let's grab 5 more blacks. There we go. All right. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, cool. So how much do I have on here? That's 400. And let's see, 420, or I've got another $200 here. That would make it 500. You know what? I'm just going to put it at 500 and we'll make it proper on the first hit. And I'm going to put a quarter on the pass line. I'm going super cheap and then no pass line odds. Yeah. Let's do it. I want to have some fun with this. All right, come out, roll. 3, 5, 3, 2. We're using Clint's. 3, 5, 3, 2. Here's our come out roll. That is a 6, 3 Neener. 9, 9, 9. Mark your 9. 9 is the point. One time, I would love to do this at the casino. Just build, 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 and then just go real dump and see what we get. It'd be so much fun. 4, 5, 3, 5. It'd be a bundle of nerves, that's for sure. 6, 5, yo. Oh, it's making me hold my breath for another roll. Okay, no win. We'll just keep going. Put all money on the 12. Well, we're not playing crapless. We're playing craps. Otherwise, oh God, that would be, oh, that would be sick. 4, 5, 3, 5. Here's our next throw. Hard 4. Okay, there we go. We'll mark the 4. Now, that is $400. So that is 5, 10, 5, 20. That's going to pay us $780. 7, 75, 80. All right, so now I need to fix these. These are, I'm going to make to 600 each and rack the rest. Just wanted to fix those, the 6 and 8. Whew. You know what? If we're going to do this proper, let's do it proper. Let's do it proper. All right, that's $500. 5, 5, 5, 5, and we'll rack the 1. No, we'll put the 1 right there. Let's do it. Points of 9. 4, 5, 3, 5. Next toss. Off the chips. Of course we get it 7. I want to throw that again because I did hit it off the chips. We're at. I mean, I'm more so curious. There it is. 5-1. Okay. No, it was fun. I don't mind this at the end just to have some fun. Yeah, no, if I was at the casino and I ever start doing this and one of you all standing next to me, go ahead and smack me in the back of the head. You have my full on permission to do so. Hey guys, I had a blast today. BB Wood, I didn't see you slide in here towards the end, pucker up, impress the sisters. Yeah. But I did have a lot of fun today. And guys, just kind of on a final note, going into next week, all right, I'm going to be on Trey's LFC tonight. I will stream on my channel. Looking at next week, there will be no coffee and craps next week, and I more than likely will not be playing on Trey's LFC. Yeah, I like that skill. No roll, didn't hit the back wall. I will not be participating in next Sunday's 2 live streams because I'll be traveling back from Iowa next Sunday, and I just want you guys to be aware of that. And while we're talking about that, the following week there will be no coffee and craps, and there will be no LFC. Well, there might be an LFC on the what is that, the 8th of March, just because I'll be playing up in Kansas City that weekend. So we're gonna lose a couple of live streams. I'm going to try to make them up this coming week and the following week. I've got my live stream planned for Tuesday night where we are going to do our LFC. I'm thinking about doing a live stream Thursday night. If you all are interested in joining or want to just show some interest, hit me up in Discord. Let me know. I would really appreciate that. In the meantime, guys, it is currently 10:41. I know it's a few minutes early. I got some really awesome things coming down the pipeline. Been doing a lot of work here on the back end, and for those who have been paying attention to the channel and have been looking at my videos in from the past, you will see some changes already happening. So we've got lots of changes, lots of exciting opportunities coming up ahead of us, and I am more than happy to share them all with you guys here on KC Crafts. In the meantime, I'm going to head out for today. I'll see you all tonight. Be sure to join me here 8 p.m. Central, and we'll play some LFC with the boys over on Trey's channel. Guys, have a fantastic Sunday. We'll see you tonight.